ladies were in the conference. Some ladies were in the conference.
So they're there. No, just go tap on the door. Come out. Someone will come out. That madam will come out.
Namaste, Kadambini.
Namaste.
Hi, this is Patria here. So I'm the moderator for this session. First of all, thank you so much for being the host for WEF Digital Conclave 2020. Seriously, you've just been our lifesaver. For all those of you who are joining in, we have with us this amazing lady called Kadambini Mittal, who is currently the general manager of Marriott in Bangalore. Marriott has been our hospitality partner for WEF Bangalore Digital Conclave 2020. And thank you so much, Kadambini. And we are the command center for this entire conclave. Okay, yes. So I mean, the powerhouse of the conclave rests there, and the Marriott Group has really come forward to support us. Thank you so much for being there. And she is a stalwart. She's been a stalwart in the hospitality industry, a little bit of what I read about you. So over to you, Kadambini. Your final shout out to all our attendees right here who have been watching this conclave over the last 2 days, and they're part of your session as well right now. So over to you.
Namaste, everyone. As Deepa just introduced, Kadambini Mittal. I'm the general manager for the Bengaluru Marriott Whitefield. I am really delighted that we could get an opportunity to be the hospitality partner. It's a great recognition for us also. And I've been very, very closely working with WEF. So, you know, it's definitely a delight for me as well. So just to introduce you to the hotel, it's a 391 rooms hotel in the IT hub. And it's a landmark in last 7 years. It opened 7 years ago, and this hotel has been a landmark. We have 5 F&B outlets, and we serve cuisines across the globe. And all our F&B outlets have been iconic. Just to share in terms of the banqueting space also, we have over 10,000 square feet of banqueting space. Most important is, if you look at it, we have been able to reinforce and build the confidence of our guests. They have recognized us for our service culture and also, you know, what we deliver in terms of anticipating their needs. We have won many awards, and you know, every time this hotel has been recognized in top 3 hotels in Asia Pacific in terms of the service culture from a Marriott standpoint. Now, a little bit in terms of, you know, with the new normal, everyone has been talking about new normal and the expectation that, you know, how the hotel is delivering in terms of the new standards post-COVID-19. So we just wanted to, in terms of, you know, what we have done from a changes standpoint. Firstly, you know, though, you know, it was a very high touch and that's expected in India, but what we have done is we still try achieving the same service standard, but more in terms of contactless experience. What we have done is, you know, based on the commitment to clean drive of Marriott, we have implemented different initiatives in our hotel, starting from check-in. Like, you know, we have looked at, you know, what could be best for the guest also. So we have sort of a glass barrier between the front office so that, you know, our guests feel more comfortable. Important is that, you know, how do we reinforce that? So, you know, we have been having regular trainings, you know, with our associates, because they are the one who can deliver that contactless experience for our guests, and yet personalized. So there has been reinforcement of training, and every time, our guest associates have made us proud in terms of what they achieve with our guests. We have looked at 200 touch points in the hotel, and we ensure that all those 200 touch points are regularly sanitized. And this is very, just to share with you, this is high level of disinfectants which we are using and which are clinically tested. So those are the disinfectants we are using, and it's been regularly sanitized. Another thing which is a big initiative which we have done for our restaurants is the digital menu. So through the QR code, you can look at the menu, and not the traditional way of holding the menu and then deciding the menu items. So through the QR code, you decide your dishes, and then accordingly we serve it on the table. We have one-time use in terms of the napkins, and also all our cutlery and crockery, it's disinfected, which we serve to our guests. And we have also done in terms of the social distancing, we have reduced our F&B covers by 50% in all our restaurants. So, it gives that confidence to the guests that, they are, we are following the social distancing. We have the digital payment, which we have introduced. Another thing is that through the Marriott app, you can make your bookings through the app. You can order your food through the app, and we do a contactless check-in also. So these are a few of the initiatives which we have been able to roll out. And just to share with you, ever since the lockdown got lifted, we have guests who have been coming to the hotel, and they feel very confident to be with us. We've been able to build the trust with them, and we have got great feedback from all the guests who have been staying with us. I also wanted to again touch on the point of our associates. Training and the reinforcement is very important, and which we feel we have been able to deliver. And our associates are very confident, and they get complete empowerment to create that everlasting memories for our guests. Another thing, I know everyone talks about safety, hygiene, and cleanliness. I think what I feel, and I'm very confident, I wouldn't say I think, but I'm very confident that we have been able to really implement the new normal in our hotel. We really look forward to welcoming all of you to the Bengaluru Marriott Whitefield. Thank you.
That was short and crisp, but so much of work being done right now, and it's not a joke to have 200 touch points where you sanitize very frequently. So you've identified your 200 touch points. There's a digital menu, and then there is a single time use and throw napkins. FB covers have been reduced by 50%, which means you're definitely taking a revenue hit, but still going all out and ensuring that your guests are safe. That really truly means a lot and talks a lot about a brand that comes forward and goes all out for its guests. And of course, digital payment, booking through app, contactless checking, contactless ordering of food as well. So you can order your food through the app, and a whole lot of other initiatives that Kadambini spoke about. Of course, the training and development of your staff, and time and again creating awareness and telling them that, hey, this is the way things are going to be. So, Kadambini, thank you so much. Yes.
One thing I also wanted to highlight, and since
Sure.
we have done exceptionally well from March onwards, our home deliveries. We have been leading the way in terms of home deliveries. We have been able to again build the trust of our guests, wherein they are very, very confident to order from us. From the 25th of March till now, we have almost around 1,400 families who are so confident that Marriott is the place to order the food from, and we've been able to deliver their expectation.
And right now, we definitely look forward to safe places, and safety is the buzzword. And gaining a trust of 1,400 guests who are your most important stakeholders is not a joke. Thank you, Marriott, for going all out and making sure that our lives are safe and giving us the same experience. And I promise you, I'm from Chennai, but I keep visiting Bangalore. I used to until pre-lockdown. So when I'm there, I'm going to be there. I'm going to meet you personally as well.
Thank you so
Kadambini.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being there.
Thank
Is there
you.
anything else that you would want to tell our listeners right now?
Yeah. So I just feel it's important and everyone, with this, fear of COVID-19, I guess what I would say that, stay safe, take all the measures in terms of, hygiene, safety, cleanliness. If you follow those standards, definitely we will overcome it as soon as possible. So that's my only request to everyone. And Bangalore Marriott Whitefield is there to cater to your home deliveries.
Absolutely, absolutely. We know that you're there for us. So thank you so much. Yes, we stay safe, we stay healthy. And that's her final shout out to all of us. Thank you, Kadini. Thank you for being there. We love you on behalf of WEF Bangalore Digital Summit 2020. We really wish to thank you from the bottom of our hearts, because we are creating history right now, putting together one of the biggest digital summits with 400 plus speakers across 50 countries, and you are the core of helping us to create that history. So thank you so much.
And I would want to congratulate to WEF for putting up such a great show. It's not easy. I know I've been working closely in last 2 days with everyone. Kudos to all of you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. For attendees who are watching us live right now, we will be starting the next session shortly. We're just expecting one more speaker to arrive, and once she is up, we will be starting shortly. We are live right now. So, Namaste Anu, Namaste Maria. I request you all to switch on your videos, please, and unmute yourself. Anu, maybe you should unmute yourself. Anu?
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Can you
Hi.
hear me?
Namaste. Yes, yes, yes. We can very well hear you. Namaste, Maria. Sorry to have kept you waiting for this long.
Doesn't matter at all. I have problems with my micro. I'm so
That's okay. Maria has been having some connectivity issues and some technical issues. Warm welcome, Anu. Maria will join us soon. This is Deepa Atria here, and I'm your moderator for today. So a very, very warm welcome to WEF Bangalore Digital Summit 2020. It's a pleasure to have you with us.
I'm not able to hear you very well.
You're not able to hear me? Is the host able to hear me? Host, are you able to hear me? I'm on full connectivity. Is it getting any better right now, Anu?
Are you able to hear me now?
Yes, I am. I'm very much with
Okay,
you.
great.
I can hear you. So
Okay.
that's so a very,
Now I
very
can hear you as well.
you can. Okay, fantastic. So a very, very warm welcome to WEF
Thank you.
Bangalore Digital Summit 2020. It's a pleasure and honor to have you here. I guess the other speaker, Maria, she's from Spain and she's been having some connectivity issues. So without me, we'll get her in a while. Meanwhile, I guess we'll get started. So for attendees who are watching us live right now, we have with us for this session a very, very wonderful human. And, it gave me goosebumps reading her profile because she is so accomplished. At the same time, she seems to be absolutely socially responsible as well. So we have with us this gorgeous looking lady who's sitting here right now, Anu Chaudhary, who is a climate action and sustainability expert. She has served as advisor to several international organizations and has worked very closely with the UN and also worked in countries like both in Asia and Africa. She has been bringing about a sustainable transformation among organizations and other places that she works with, and she is amazing. And today's topic is all about corporate social responsibility. That is the biggest buzzword right now with the pandemic hitting us. And even before that, companies were doing their CSR here and there, but right now, corporate social responsibility has been the biggest buzzword. And where are we heading to in terms of CSR in the future? So that's the topic for today. Over to Anu to give us your thoughts.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone, and good morning, good afternoon to people who are joining from outside of India. I'm very happy to be here today, and thanks to Women's Economic Forum for inviting me. Let me just give a brief introduction about myself. I am Anu Chaudhary, and I am the CEO and founder of Sustain Plus, which is a boutique sustainability and climate action consulting and advisory firm. Deepa has already given an introduction about my previous work, and I would just like to say that I have been working in this domain since almost 20 years now, and I absolutely love it. I love what I do. And to be able to make even a little bit of difference around us, to be able to reduce the footprint that we human beings are making on this planet, and to be able to uplift the communities, the underprivileged, and take them along with us where we are progressing. That is the purpose that we serve right now. And I have been working with the UN as well, very closely on sustainable development projects and carbon mitigation projects. Corporate social responsibility, as you know, has been around in various forms over the last 20-25 years. It started with philanthropy and voluntary social work, so to say, but it has evolved to the status of a profession and is often viewed from a sense of pragmatism now. Since 2015, CSR is being advanced by globalization and technology. Social issues such as women empowerment, education, health issues, environmental issues such as climate change and economic shocks are elevating issues of corporate responsibility to the international arena. Well, COVID-19 pandemic has kind of given a further uplift to this agenda. It's a global emergency. Of course, nobody anticipated this and no one was prepared for this. It has brought devastation to millions around the world, impacting lives and jobs, grinding much of the global economy to a halt. So it calls on all of us to come together with compassion and humility and to act radically and decisively to protect what's most important. So what are the kind of disruptions we are looking at currently? There are multi-sectoral impacts on businesses. As you all are aware, businesses like retail, real estate, education, entertainment, hospitality, they are very adversely impacted Workforce disruptions have happened. In India alone, workforce of 471 million, only 19% are covered by Social Security. So imagine there are 2/3 who have no formal employment contract, and at least 100 million are migrant workers. And they don't know what their future holds for them. Safety versus sustainability is a big debate these days. So single-use food packaging. So just before COVID happened, there was this huge talk around, plastics being the villain, and everybody was, so there was this huge propaganda against plastics. But now we are back in a situation where food packaging use has risen dramatically due to COVID, because consumers believe this to be a safer and more hygienic option. You won't believe there are about 80 million PPE masks and gloves entering the ocean every single day. And these are again issues that will, that will come up as an impact a few months down the line. And then we will have to deal with that once the pandemic is over. So there is this inability of being accommodated in digital spaces will lead to more poverty, hunger. So we already are hearing of students in government schools or from underprivileged families who do not have access to digital classrooms, and they are on the verge of leaving their education. So there are several issues that we need to look into. I think I can just go on and on about, how, what kind of disruptions can be caused. Well, I would like to highlight 4 mega trends that we can look out for in the near future in the CSR space. So, well, before I even start talking about the next mega trends, I'd like to highlight the fact that most companies even today do not understand the real intent behind CSR. You don't do it to look good, but rather for being good. Also, we must remember that CSR is not something you do to offset the damage you are causing to the community or to the environment. It must be done with the objective to enhance your positive footprint and go beyond profits to actually connect with your stakeholders. So the 4 mega trends, the first one is advent of new age corporate response. So corporates would be asked to go beyond their business responsibility, their role as a profit-making entity. CSR will be largely looked at as a tool for transparent communication, and I'll be talking more about it in a few minutes. Winning through collaboration is going to be another important trend that we are going to see, and rightly so, because I mean, it's just unbelievable. The kind of stories we hear around CSR, and I'll be sharing a few examples with you. Performance driven by impact assessment. Now that is something which is very, very important. So that's the 4th mega trend I'm going to be talking about. And let's start with the first one. So corporates will increasingly view CSR from a sense of pragmatism. Hence, expectations of companies will go beyond providing goods and services to solving societal problems. So there is going to be this evolution. The performance bar of CSR interventions will be raised, and for many organizations, this will give them their competitive edge. And that's a business agenda, isn't it? Some of the CSR issues that will dominate the next 20 odd years will revolve around environment, poverty, social inclusion, and governance. And unless a corporate designs its CSR strategy with this evolving stakeholder expectation, they might as well do nothing, Random short-term CSR initiatives, like we have been seeing over the last 5 to 10 years, will not be seen as cool anymore, because it's no longer seen as a philanthropic effort, but rather corporate responsibility. Coming to the second issue that I was talking about, partnerships and collaborations are key. Anyone here who has been following some CSR stories must have heard of this kind of examples where several companies are targeting just one community or stakeholder and basically just ticking a checkbox. Like there's one government school in the vicinity of 10 companies, and all of them are donating benches and computers to that one school, and the principal doesn't really know what to do with all those resources. Whereas there might be schools just 5 kilometers or 10 kilometers down the line, and they have nothing. So what does this show? That there are resources, there are funds, but they are not being utilized where they should be. Corporates are not really, they are just trying to comply with a certain regulation perhaps, but they are not looking at the actual reason behind it. They are not doing a proper need assessment, and they are not allocating funds to projects which can actually bring them the right outcomes. So the lessons that we've learned from this pandemic, today the entire world is facing and overcoming a crisis of a magnitude which no one had anticipated. In recent weeks, even though governments are viewing each other in suspicion, the number of private public partnerships has grown exponentially. And that's a good sign. And it will continue to do so. There is a clear need to identify quick solutions, provide aid through pooled in resources, and finally establish strong institutions. Grassroots organizations and non-profits will obviously play a central role. Additionally, corporate leaders will look to expand in locations beyond their headquarters, factories, plants, or other setups, although their first priority should be to have interventions around their vicinity. But they can obviously go beyond that. They can go towards their supply chain and see how effective the corporate response is while partnering with these local nonprofits who have the knowledge of the ground reality in those areas. Now, valuing the supply chain is very, very important. I think that's another big lesson that we have learned in this pandemic. In order to turn a complex and diverse set of partners into a functioning ecosystem, the supply chain will be key. It has to be made more inclusive. So suppliers will increasingly be pulled into CSR practices as companies, through either coercion or choice, will integrate CSR throughout their supply chains. The third issue I wanted to talk about was CSR will increasingly be a tool for transparent communication. Although the trend has started already, it will take another 5 odd years to pick up speed. To address the uncertainties of the next 10 years, we will see tier 2 and tier 3 companies be identified by the value they create rather than their products or services alone. Especially if we talk about the current COVID scenario, a significant new trend is observed. Companies showing maximum growth are not the ones with maximum tangible benefits, but rather those with maximum intangible benefits. Not only that, going forward, CSR is becoming an effective communication tool and medium by which the companies address their stakeholders, shareholders, and society. And the way they communicate with their stakeholders through various platforms is going to be key in driving their brand visibility and awareness. The fourth mega trend I wanted to talk about very, very strongly is the need for a proper monitoring and evaluation system. Any company doing CSR should have one corporate mantra, and that should be local communities and environment around you should be better off because of your business, not worse. And how do you ensure that? Well, the first thing is you need to know what the baseline or the current situation is. Where is your CSR intervention most needed? Are you just blindly following your peers or the political agenda? We have had water ATM projects in places where there was enough water. And who's gaining out of that? It's just a nuisance for the locals. And they wonder, why would a company put up a water ATM when they actually need a school? But the reality is that the local MLA asked for this, and hence the company just obliged. So think about it. Are you really adding value? The bottom line is that monitor and measure what you are going to do and how you are going to make an impact. And a third party observer would not only look after the expenditure, but also deliver proper feedback, ensuring that the money is not spent in vain and that the company brings substantial changes to society. So I don't think there's any harm in involving someone, an outside agency who can come and do this monitoring for you, who can do this impact assessment for you and ensure that you're getting the desired outcome from your interventions.
Definitely. Thank you. Thank you for that. We're just running short of time, but I'm going to come back to you with a closing statement for sure.
All right, sure.
I'm so sorry that I'm cutting you short because the platform is designed in such a way that after 30 minutes, we just go off and then we reboot again. So we got to finish this. So I would like to now call upon Maria, who's our speaker from Spain. She's been waiting for quite a while and her had some technical issues, but that's been sorted. We all are problem solvers and we are women of strength, aren't we? So Maria is a blogger, political analyst, trainer, facilitator, writer, with a legal background as a former public attorney. What else? Oh my God, she wears so many hats, and she has with a strong strength of independent thinking and free learning on a continuous basis. She's worked with many cities, currently focusing on developing a reshaped model of globalization. So over to Maria, without taking too much time. Maria, your take on corporate social responsibility and what is the way forward? I guess you need to unmute yourself, dearest Maria. And Anu, I'm going to come back to you for sure. That's a promise.
Sure. Thank you so much for this warm welcome and for your comprehension. We are learning with this new, exciting, emotionally exciting digital experience, but also very challenging. She was so kind to make this presentation about my skills and professional focus. But I think it would be of particular importance to see my professional focus. And I will tell you why in relation to CSR in the near future. Because I need to say why I am here, why it justifies that a political analysis, a lawyer, is in a slot, particularly with all the slots that the WEF has, just in the one of CSR. And it's because of holistic approaches, 2 words, nothing more than that. You know? And I think this is you will see it at the end of my presentation. What is for me the focus, the vision that we need to have for CSR in the near future? And it needs to change. It needs to change the system. It needs to change our minds and the own concept of corporate social responsibility. From my side, reshaping a global model. That is what I work on. That is what I write in my articles. Taking the private sector, the public sector, political leadership, the role of the citizens. And all together is where we are going to find the solution. So that's why I am here. It's not awkward that a lawyer is in this slot. It's because I will like to share with you my idea. So first of all, CSR, environment, society, people, I strongly believe, and I will be totally straightforward, I think it's an obsolete concept. And why I think that? And I will give you 2 reasons. Why? It started like this in the 90s, 30 years ago, 3 decades. We started like this, CSR. And then all of a sudden there was a drop. And why was that drop? First of all, because they make of it a marketing. As I will say, it's not enough to being good, but it's not enough to look good, but to being good. I would say that it was very, very smart because that's what they're doing most of the companies. Even that they have to apologize because India is one of the pioneer countries to insert CSR in their culture, in their legislation. It's not surprising that among the 20 most important companies, is one of the companies, and among that ranking of 20 companies on CSR. But it's not the reality for the rest of the world. And the rest of the world face companies that maybe they have a very good environmental policy, but when they have to invest their profits, they invest in fossil fuels. So we have a problem there of mechanism of transparency and accountability, very, very important. Also, we have, for example, gender equality. They apply gender equality policies properly. But in the case of multinational, sometimes they apply it in one country because they are forced, they are pushed by the country, but not by the country host, but not in the rest of the companies based in other countries. So there we have that this corporate social responsibility, it became very local, very marketing, and not really global. That's what we need to address a world with a multiple crisis. Second point, sustainable development goals. That is what became most than evident of the framework that is not really what we need. Why the companies that fulfill requirements of corporate social responsibility that have important roles to meet the Sustainable Development Goals. Why? They are the best one. They are in the best position to do it. They don't do it because it's not the same, or if it's the same, the concept is very general, and then we need to see one by one, and they don't do it. The third point, when we are talking about COVID-19, as Anu say, and I agree, uplift an agenda, but also left in evidence their failures. Because the economic fall down that we are going through is true. It's a reduction of consumption. We are not moving from, we are changing our activity. So we have an impact. But not all the countries have the same impact. Why is that? Why is the reason? Because the crisis is the same. Because there are countries that became resilient, because the private sector have a synergy with the public sector, even in a crisis like this one, it doesn't impact the same way as another. So why, for me, what we need to move forward? We need to move forward with this triple bottom line concept to a triple empowerment line. That's the way I name it. And for me, triple empowerment line means, first of all, a level of citizens. Citizens need a better synergy with the public sector, asking them to make legislation, to punish, not as an activist, but just part of the process, of a natural process in which this is a complete merge, public sector and private sector, and also the citizens that are supposed to be the only owners of the public sector, or only the one who select the representatives, vote for the representatives. Second, the consumers. We cannot be submitted to a process. We are part of the process. We are essential process. We are the process for the private sector. So we need to be more than boycotting a product. We need to do much more than that. We need to be part of it. And if a company has to adapt, because the customers are asking for more transparency, more accountability, or delivering something different, they have to do it. And third, the tripling empowerment line, citizens, consumers, and SDG 16 alliance partnerships for public, private sector, and all the pillars that move a global model. So the end of the sentences. I think that I am finished. I am ending now. So just the last sentences. For me, CSR in the near future is not more about corporate social responsibility, but global social responsibility. Thanks so much.
Wow, that was an awesome end, and of course I don't call it an end, I call it the beginning. Yeah, so it's a beginning, and I think both Anu and Maria, hit. There was one line that connected the two of you. Both of you spoke about not just doing good, but being good. And both of you spoke about this, and this shows that you ladies are frontline warriors who want to make this world a better place and have a holistic approach to the whole thing. And Anu, I'm so sorry I cut you short. So is there a final statement that you would want to make to all the listeners who are here right now?
Thanks, Deepa. I was actually almost done. So I had covered the 4 mega trends that I wanted to. I just wanted to end with these 2 words, strategy and collaboration. As long as companies go ahead with this plan, and they have a roadmap in place and an objective in place, I think we are good to go. We can get a lot of great outcomes from CSR. That's all I want to say.
Absolutely, and I can see both of you talking about a holistic approach to the whole thing, right? I think that's going to be the solution and the way forward. So thank you so much for being there. And just one question, a lot of attendees have been watching this, and quite a few questions are coming our way, but I'm just going to sum up with one question that they have is, see, companies are already cash crunched. CSR needs some kind of budget allocations, right? But right now with the global economic slowdown, will companies come forward and move towards allocating certain budgets for a corporate social responsibility? What is your take on that? If Anu, if you could just give us a one-line statement, and then Maria could give us just a one-line statement. Your take on
So,
what companies will do right now with an economic slowdown. How can they?
so I agree that a lot of companies have almost exhausted their CSR funds, either due to COVID relief or giving away funds in PM relief, or they just cut short their CSR budgets because their businesses are not doing well, which is all fair. But my only suggestion, first of all, is do not exhaust your funds, because going forward, you would need these funds for several other interventions. So go with a proper plan, maybe give away 20, 30, 40% of your CSR funds for COVID relief, but then have a plan for future as well. Secondly, are you going to not spend on branding, advertising, marketing going forward? If you have to run as a business, you have to spend on all these things as well, although with a probably with a cut down budget. So the same thing goes for CSR as well. It gives you a huge brand enhancement and visibility. So use it with the right agenda and for the right purpose. That's all.
Absolutely. First of all, for companies to exit, they need to exist. We need to have a safe planet, and that's how we're going to exist. Yes,
Yeah.
Maria, what's your take on this question?
I would rather insist in the same line of Anu. I will insist on what means synergy. I will insist on that. I think that the real future of CSR relies on alliance, on partnerships, and creating the right synergies. And it's not that challenging. I think that we have seen with COVID-19 that it is possible. But now it's possible because of a goodwill coordination. And we don't have to go through that. It's not a goodwill, it's not charity, this is something that should be. And for the planet and for a transparency and accountable sectors, that move with transparency, all of them.
Okay. So synergize is the buzzword, the key to the way forward. And thank you so much, dearest ladies, for being here. This means a lot to us. And on behalf of Women Economic Forum Bangalore Digital Summit 2020, we would love to show our gesture of love and appreciation to the phenomenal work that both of you are doing. So we would love to confer you with an award called the Iconic Women of Creating a Better Tomorrow for All Award. Yes, you're helping us create a better planet, and we would love to confer you with this award. We would have actually loved to give you a hug and give you this award, but it's okay. This is the new normal. So an official email will follow. And just wanted to tell you all that, tell the two of you that we really, really love you from the bottom of our hearts. And you ladies are rocking. Thank you for making our planet a better place. And we'll connect with
Thank you so
shortly
much.
as well. Thank you,
It's
ladies.
been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much.
Likewise, thank you. Namaste. Namaste. I think we can probably leave the room now for the next set of speakers to come. So I'm going to do that. Thank you. Bye-bye.